Welcome to Cam Church. We are here in this beautiful October day, here on October 8th, another wonderful Sunday. And today we are going to be talking about the spirit of uni and how the spirit of uni not only exists as this idea of that which connects all things, but it can also be a concept and an energy that we can bring into our internal being and keep in mind as we're working on regulating our internal self and improving the harmony within our own body. And of course, then when we heal ourselves, we heal the world. And so I'm talking about this today because, as a lot of you know, I have been spending a lot of time in my car. I've been spending a lot of time in my car, which has meant that I have had a lot of time to be lost in my own thought while driving. I have had a lot of time to think about different concepts and how I'm being harassed by my cat, by the way. He is clawing at my robe. He thinks it is a toy. But it's not a toy, it's a robe. It's a spiritual robe. Oh, I have been driving around a lot lately, which has put me out into the greater world. And it has been showing me the different connections I can make with people. I have been seeing different instances in speaking and picking up and dropping off people from marginalized communities, people who may have more privilege than others. I've been driving through the more affluent parts of the city I live in, and I have been driving through the lesser affluent parts of the city, the older parts of the town that I live in that have been less cared for as the years go on. And it has been painting an incredibly broad picture of things. And when I see just the diversity in the landscape and the diversity in the people around me, it makes me think so much about the concept of the spirit of uni. And it makes me think about the interconnectivity of everything in our lives, the interconnectivity of the people that we know, the people that we interact with, and then the actions those people do, and the actions that we do, and how everything affects everything else. And as I've been doing that, eventually your thoughts turn inward, as they tend to do, especially for me at nighttime. And I began to think about my own internal state as this series of cause and effects, and of one part of my body talking to another part of my body, and one part of my history talking with my present self, my past self talking with my present self, the current things I'm working on talking with the things I'm currently succeeding in. And so I wanted to read a couple of passages. There are kind of two concepts that I wanted to fold in together. And because it is the copy that is closest to me, I'm going to be reading from the first edition of the Fundamentals of UNICULT. I will go back to the second edition, but currently the second edition is on my spiritual altar. And so I'm going to read really quickly. Hey, can you stop that, sweetheart? Sorry about that. I don't recommend meditating while driving a car, but you can definitely do some good thinking while driving. You do have to keep your eyes on the road and do no harm. So the chapter I want to read from is the one on microcosm and macrocosm and microcosm, the one on microcosm and macrocosm. And I'm going to try to speed through this because I want to look at two different chapters. But let's go ahead and define what this is specifically. All things exist within each other. Your spiritual experience exists within your physical experience and vice versa. The energies of Earth impact you and you impact them. The entire universe looks like the smallest quark. All is one. This universal truth leads us to understand that the greatest thing you can do is to alter your own experience into the best possible experience. Your experience is the experience of the universe. Your emotional well-being is vitally important to all. The easiest thing in the world to control is your own thought. The energy of your own consciousness is the energy that you have the greatest power to affect. You are the only person who has power over your thoughts, and you have profound power to think whatever thoughts you want to think. Thoughts are things, and they directly influence your energy and the energy of the universe. By practicing this power and experiencing joy in the way that you are most capable, you are actually shifting the largest amount of energy possible in the universe. Your most interpersonal interactions have large-scale effects. When you exercise positive energy, you impact your own life, the people in it, Earth, the universe, and the sum of all things. This is why we say, when you heal yourself, you heal the world. The healing that you do ripples out and reflects on every level. Your exploration with concepts of divinity cause divinity to grow in complexity. Your explorations with concepts of love expand the universe's ability to love. The energy that you experience and emit impacts all things on a tiny microcosmic scale and on the largest conceivable microcosm scale simultaneously. You are the creator, and your greatest power is your internal world. Utilize the concepts in UNICULT to master your reality, and you will find that you are contributing in a profound way towards the well-being of all. And UNI bless. And this is something that I've been really thinking about. And when I think about that interconnectivity, and when I think about the cause and the effect and the way that my internal state affects those around me, and you feel into that connection, what I find in those moments of contemplation and feeling into the effect that my internal state has on the outside world, what I feel is the deep presence of the spirit of UNI. Like I am exercising and tapping in to that network that binds everything together on a physical and emotional, on a spiritual, cosmic, earth, sky, sea, land, water, air kind of level. And I feel that energy. And for me, that energy is a signifier of the spirit of UNI. And so just to read really quick from this chapter on the spirit of UNI. The spirit of UNI is that which connects all dimensions. It is the highest officially acknowledged concept in UNICULT. All dimensions exist within the system of the universe. For things to exist within a single system, no matter how different they are, they must have at least one thing in common. The universe is full of wonderfully varied things, many of which are the same, many of which seem like abnormalities. Ultimately, though, they all have at least one thing in common. That thing is the spirit of UNI. The spirit of UNI is experienced in many different ways, depending on your positioning in the universe. It is always experienced positively. On Earth, we experience the spirit of UNI as love and love-based humor. The laughing joy you get when things are benevolently synchronistic is the humor I speak of. The love you feel from trees or from another source of unconditional love is the love I mean. Unicultists are welcome to use the spirit of UNI as there's something higher, but it is best to use alongside a personal expression of personified divinity, whether it be God, angels, ascended masters, or your higher self. UNI bless. I have been thinking in terms of, as I work towards improving my internal state so that I can radiate an energy which helps the majority of the world. When I'm working on healing myself so I can heal the world, I have been thinking about it in terms of the interconnectivity of the spirit of UNI. I have been thinking about it in a way where everything I am working on internally I am experiencing in a positive manner. And I have been thinking about different ways that the microcosm of my own being, such as it is within the universe, is such a mirror of the macrocosm of the universe, or of Earth in this case, for these examples. There are so many parallels and similar struggles that we see when we look out into the world and what needs healing on a macro level between what we see when we look inside of ourselves. We look out into the world, and it would be foolish for us not to say that there are things that need to be changed in the world. If there were things that didn't need to be changed, if the world was in perfect utopian harmony, then, great, that would be perfect. Would UNICULT have ever been formed? Would there have been any need for all this? I don't know. But you look out into the world and you see a lot of division, you see a lot of inequity, you see a lot of inequality, you see a lot of people who have amassed power and use that to put a thumb on others who do not have power. You see a lot of people with unregulated internal states and unequal views of the world, pushing their idea of reality onto others and doing their best to take away others' autonomy and others' sense of personal reality. You see, we deal with issues like racism and sexism and homophobia and transphobia and all of those things, those harsh, awful things that exist within our reality that we are trying to fix on day-to-day level. When I bring that down to a microcosm level, I think about, and I speak from my own experience, I think about my own dealing with institutionalized racism. Family members that may have tried to put those kind of views on me growing up. I think about my own bouts of internalized transphobia as a mirror and influenced by and greatly affected by the wider instances of that we see in the world, or we see in the media, or we see in our politics. And I boil that to a micro level, and I see it in myself. I see my own personal struggles with finances and with money, and it seems like I am one part of a whole of income inequality and income-based oppression. And the more I think about it, and the more similarities and the parallels I find between the fundamental societal structures that we are trying to change, especially the ones that we are trying to change in UNICULT, and boil it down to what I see inside myself. In that realization, even if it is about these very harsh topics, these very serious topics, these things that take monumental change on a macro level and deep shadow work and trauma work and emotional work on a micro level, I feel that connection. I feel a similarity. I feel connected to all of that because I experience all of that in my own internal state, and that, I believe in itself, is the presence of the spirit of uni. In fundamentals, it says the spirit of uni is always experienced positively. So why would I feel the spirit of uni when I'm thinking about my own internalized transphobia or the things that my parents tried to push on me? Well, I feel it positively because I'm acknowledging the issue, and I am working on the issue, and I am experiencing it authentically, and I am authentically acknowledging the systems inside myself that I am trying to break down. If I am working to break down certain detrimental thoughts that my family might have tried to put into me as I was growing up, that is a positive action. If I am working with friends or my therapist to break down detrimental views about myself and my own journey, that is a positive action. Whenever I experience this connectiveness with the spirit of uni, whenever I feel the spirit of uni inside myself, as I kind of try to untangle the ball of issues and phobias and trauma and unlearning and learning that is all nestled up inside of me, doing that work is always positive. Doing that work is always a progression towards the higher self. Doing that work is always establishing a connection to the spirit of uni. And the more that I do that work, the more that I unravel all of the things that were put on me, that tried to put into me, the things that maybe I put inside myself, the things I internalized that I shouldn't have internalized, the more I work on breaking that down and I heal myself, so I heal the world. And I find the spirit of uni to be a wonderful network through which all of that internal healing connects to the external healing. The spirit of uni connects us and sends our healing out into the world, and it allows us to feel the healing that others are doing back. The spirit of uni allows us to express love for ourselves and for that love to radiate in such a way that others can feel it. The spirit of uni allows us to care for ourselves, and in creating that bubble of care, putting ourselves in that rainbow bubble of care, or that golden bubble of care, or doing that violet flame meditation and getting all these discordant energies out of us, the spirit of uni allows us to project that even greater into the world and allows others to see it. And working on our internal state can sometimes be working on one thing. I may sit down with my therapist and deconstruct with her things I saw in the media about trans people that I did not know I internalized, but then as I think about it and I meditate on it and I ruminate on it, I am realizing, oh, I took that in when I should not have, and those are detrimental thoughts, and I am working through those. And you can focus on one singular thing. When I was in junior high and I would drive with one of my parents to and from school, and they would try to, I don't want to use the word indoctrinate, but I guess we'll use it, to me, with detrimental thoughts, with racist thoughts, with bigoted thoughts, and they would try to push this upon me. That is a bigger issue that I can deconstruct within myself. But oftentimes when we are working on one thing in our internal state, because we all have, in my opinion, our own internalized spirit of uni, that which connects all things. When we work on one thing, it can open doors that we may not even realize, or maybe we do realize, to healing other things. As an example, and I will use some of my own vices for this. It is impossible to do this sermon about regulating the internal state from my POV without getting a little personal. I struggle with issues of, and content warning, we're going to talk about food. I struggle internally with issues of keeping myself in a healthy relationship with food. Either making decisions that are beneficial to my body, or seeing a need for food that is detrimental because it is excessive. So there are issues with making the choices that are actually beneficial to my body and are in alignment with all one, but also coupled with just a basic issue with I eat a lot to calm my emotions. But another thing that I work on, and another thing I've gotten a lot better on, is working on issues with keeping finances stable, with keeping the abundance that I have working towards beneficial goals for me, working towards long-term improvement in where I am in the world, making my way in this capitalist hellscape, as best I can. And in some ways, those are two very different things. However, what I have been thinking about over the last couple of months and realizing is that the more I make beneficial, thought-based decisions about how I nourish my body and how I intake things into my body and take care of my internal state like that. And I'm going to do my best not to mention particular things, but just saying the more I use beneficial thought and I monitor my thought and I adjust my thought so that my relationship with food and with nourishment is one that is on a holistic level more beneficial for me, is more aligned with my higher self, what I find is because everything in our internal state is connected, I find that I end up making better choices with my finances. When I am making good choices about how to nourish my body, I am not making detrimental decisions to drop $40 or $50 on a meal that might be detrimental. Everything connects to each other. And so the more I may help in this push, the more abundance I end up having. And that is a great example for me in the ways that the things that I am working on, the vices or the improvement that I am working on in my internal state, things that are rooted in not being taught about money when I was younger, not being given a good relationship with food when I was younger. It is an example of the ways that the things that I am working on a very core level, day-to-day things that are rooted in lessons growing up that I am unlearning, how they are connected, how they feed into each other, pun not intended. And when I feel that interconnectivity between my different struggles, the things that I want to make better about myself, when I feel the connectivity between the things that I am working on to align my body with my higher self, I feel the spirit of uni in that. Because when you go in on a lower level, on a more micro level, I am healing one thing, and I can heal the rest of it. I am healing one part of the puzzle, and in doing so, that energy of healing is going out to the rest of the things I am working on. That energy and that hope and that joy that comes from experiencing healing the deepest, hardest part of your internal struggle, that energy goes out through the rest of your body, through the power of the spirit of uni. And so as I heal myself, I heal the world. But so also as I heal myself, I heal the rest of myself. As I heal one thing, the confidence in my body to heal everything else becomes greater. As I improve one part of my life, it opens up the ability to improve so much more. As I heal my relationship with food, it is easier to find time to rest. It is easier to heal. It is easier to regulate my emotional states. So we don't just heal ourselves when we heal the world. On a very much more micro level, we heal a part of ourselves and we heal the rest of ourselves. And in those moments, not only do I feel the spirit of uni all around me, and I feel the spirit of uni when I go out and I lay against a tree and I say, "Good morning, tree, how are you?" A beautiful connection to earth, and I feel the spirit of uni there. But when I make those positive decisions for myself, I feel the spirit of uni internally saying, yes, this is the loving decision. This is a positive decision. And in those moments, since the spirit of uni is always experienced positively, that is just an amazing energy to cultivate in yourself. Like Space Freckle said, it is baby steps up the ladder of believability. It is building confidence. It is building up. It is turning your internal state into one of self-support and self-love. And it only needs to start with one aspect, and then everything else can fall into place. And that is how I take the spirit of uni from this concept where I am looking out into the world and seeing the things that are happening in the world and the healing that's happening in the world and the places we need to heal in the world. And I bring that internal and I internalize it as much as I can, just like we do all of these lessons in UNICULT. And I heal myself so I can heal another part of myself so I can heal the world. And I think that is just one of the ways that the teachings and the lessons that UNICULT has put out there and that my friends and my family in UNICULT have helped reinforce and that we have talked about, these are things that we talk about in the Discord. So if you haven't joined, these are discussions that we have. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of goofy, wacky, zany times, but we also have beautiful, wonderful conversations about our internal struggle, our external struggle, relationships, self-regulation, support. This is a community, this is a movement, this is a church, this is a cult, but in the end, it is just a positive force for joy. And so that is our sermon today. I hope that everyone can take a little bit from this. It is certainly my honor and my privilege to give this all out to you. I want to thank everyone who has attended today. I want to thank everyone who's been helping, of course. As many of you all know, UNICULT is still on maternity leave after the birth of the Uni baby. Of course, that is an adventure, to put it lightly. And so I just want to thank Resist and Space Freckle and Lexi and Flip Top and everyone who's been helping behind the scenes, behind the camera, in front of the camera, all the magicians and our devoted members who have been helping UNICULT just perpetuate itself as we go in towards the end of the year. And I really think that this has been a time of great strengthening in our systems, in our connections with each other, and showing that no matter what life events happen, whether they are beautifully amazing, like the birth of the Uni baby, or if a lot of us fall on hard times, that this movement, it literally can't be stopped. UNICULT is incredibly powerful, and it has been incredibly powerful for 11 years, and the future is only going to be better. So just as a reminder, we do have the Streamathon at the end of the month, so please, you can look, there is a Streamathon channel in both the higher level server and in the main Discord server. If you're wanting to sign up, look in the higher levels channel. If you have any questions or any concerns, you can @ Space Freckle or you can @ me, and we will do our best to help you out. I want to thank Space Freckle for being the lead on this one. It is very appreciated. And just a shout out to everyone right now who is keeping UNICULT a happy, safe, welcoming, inclusive environment for everyone as we go through what has been a year of amazing change. There's a Uni baby, and we have Uni Acres, and there will be more announcements in the future. There will be more announcements as they become available. I know there's a lot of people asking about Uni Acres, and please, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you, anyone who ordered things from the store, and appreciate your patience with the store. And let's go ahead and just do a quick prayer and sign off for the day. If you are in the Discord server and you'd like to go to Uni Brunch, you can go ahead and start it at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock Central. Feel free to brunch, have some toast. And Spirit of Uni, thank you so much for this time together. Thank you for this community, this family, this beautiful online cult. Thank you for everything that has led us to this point, the ups and the downs and the questioning and the alignment and the growing and the healing. And thank you for what is a beautiful, amazing future here at UNICULT as we just move forward with this beautiful spiritual movement. Uni bless. Thank you all for coming to Cam Church. We will see you next week. I do not know who is... I do not know who's doing Cam Church next week, but I thank everyone who has been pitching in and helping Cam Church run, and also personally allowing me to uh, deal with other things in my life as well. So thank you so much for coming. Uni bless. I'll see you in the Discord. Have a wonderful day.